just to let you know, your girl finna be bigger than Jobs.
Right.
Bigger than Gates.
Right.
Bigger than Pym.
Right.
Bigger than Stark.
Yeah.
Combined.
What did we do to deserve this? Much like a fart in a car that's being sealed up tight, this woke holdover comes wafting past our faces in a disgusting draft, full of the worst offenders of the progressive war against culture and sanity from the last 10 years. Identity politics, victim complex, intersectionality, DEI, pronouns, and blatant stereotyping in the name of racial harmony or something. This has got it all and more, including the dumbest genius you've ever seen, who's also a supposed hero who cheats, steals, and murders. And we're only 3 episodes in. Keep it up, Disney. It's working so well for you.
That's a hot pile of garbage. Trash, and you know it.
To no one's surprise, this thing is completely obnoxious from the get-go and wastes no time in taking shots at Tony Stark.
Do you think Tony Stark would be Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire?
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
So he was who he was without his billions. Aside from the believability issues that may arise from that, money didn't enable him to build it. Ingenuity and resourcefulness did. The grant and resources Riri got from her university to build her suit is a far greater advantage than Tony had at that point in time. And he was under the duress of being held hostage and on a time limit that could end with his death if it ran out. But in a typically progressive way, Riri Williams can only complain about her situation and perceived disadvantages, while ignoring her already privileged and comfortable situation. How many people get to go to MIT, have their own lab, and get a grant to research robotics? How about a little perspective? Not to mention that she's basically trying to reinvent the wheel, doing what Tony Stark already did, and that the US government already has in the form of War Machine and probably a lot more, but she's convinced that what she's doing will change the world.
This could change the world.
Why not approach the Stark Corporation or Foundation or whatever and show them what you've built? I'm sure they'd be impressed with your skills and at least offer you a job, if not a full collaboration.
How come you're not working at, like, I don't know, Stark Industries or something? And you're at least as smart as that Tony guy, right?
But no, she runs her homework for hire scheme, helping students cheat for money, and when she's caught, essentially enabling plagiarism.
You have been a horrible steward of Stark's legacy.
MIT has a zero tolerance policy on plagiarism.
She's expelled from the university and refuses to accept responsibility for her actions, taking what is most likely school property in the process. Typical victim mentality. It's everyone else's fault but your own. And what does she do to overcome this hurdle? Maybe take her suit and shop it around to investors? Start a company of her own? You have an incredible proof of concept that you were able to repair from a hunk of junk to a fully functioning supersuit on par with anything Tony Stark had in the span of one night. Surely you'd have the wherewithal to make a few TikTok videos, advertise your suit, attract investors, make a startup, right? No? She can make all this tech, but can't figure out how to monetize it? Really? She's instead going to accept an invitation to a criminal gang to extort tech companies for money.
Okay, so what do you do?
Theft, extortion, breaking and entering.
Even though her job interview consists of her boss trying to kill her as a test of skill, and she has no idea what she's going to be doing or even if she'll get paid.
So, like, when do we get paid? Is it like a cash only under the table type situation, or?
That's a good question. How about we stay focused on the job?
So she joins a criminal gang for easy money rather than putting any real effort into legitimate means of raising funds. She fixes a completely demolished supersuit in one night, like completely destroyed, for a criminal gang. But she had trouble getting funding for what she's able to produce. This is stupid beyond words. Just stop. I mean, she can run a brain mapping interface to create an AI, but can't figure out how to make money from things like that? And this is a recurring sentiment, as well as her main motivator for everything she's doing.
So you in or out?
Better be worth it.
Let's talk characters. There's the sassy AI that Riri accidentally creates in the image and likeness of her annoying friend Natalie, who was gunned down along with her stepfather in a drive-by, because she fell asleep during the brain scan to create the AI. And that's what it came up with. The scenes with her are cringy as hell.
Bonnie and Clyde back on the street. Go best friend, let's go best friend. I go best friend, let's go best. Okay, I'm coming for you, bestie. Now how the hell do I get out of here?
The leader of the gang is Patrick, or the Hood, who's apparently been majorly changed from the comics, as if that's anything new for the MCU. He has a Harry Potter-style invisibility cloak, which apparently gets his power from nefarious sources. He's probably the coolest character in the show, though he's an activist extortionist. Sounds about right. In his gang is his aggressive right-hand man who's good with knives,
Hi, I'm John. My parents didn't say I love you, so now I play with knives.
That was actually funny. It was good.
a non-binary but definitely gay hacker,
They were swindling high rollers on dark web gambling sites.
a pair of badass bitches who,
Put a ticket in and make her name it gay!
act as the muscle of the group and kick the shit out of any men they encounter, as usual for Disney fare, and an annoying explosives expert.
Silent, deadly.
It's the most ragtag and perhaps stereotypical group of activist terrorists you could think of. They go around extorting money from tech companies while justifying their actions because fight the oligarchy, I guess?
Robbing the Sheila Zarate.
You mean Sheila? I don't care if my tunnels destroy entire communities if it makes me rich, Zarate?
You're right, screw her.
You certainly wouldn't want hardworking people to help advance the world now, would you? Han Solo's in this piece of shit. His career really hasn't taken off, has it? Stuck in that Disney ecosystem, eh?
Are you crying?
Sorry, sometimes it just happens.
Yeah, I know, buddy. It sucks. He's supposed to be a black market bionics dealer, but he's also the biggest pussy in the world. And it turns out he's Obadiah Stane's son. Riri herself is actually not a hero. She's a criminal and murderer. We'll get into that in a bit. She's immature, arrogant, and simultaneously a victim not responsible for her own actions. She willingly joins a terrorist group to disrupt a legal business's operations.
I think it's pretty clear at this point that neither one of us are outstanding members of society.
It takes seeing her gang boss shoot a guy for her to start questioning her actions. But then she keeps on going until she herself ends up killing a fellow gangster. And all for money and self-serving reasons. Dumbest character in the MCU, who's supposed to be a genius. But characters are only as smart as their writers, so...
I'm only doing this because I have to. Not because I'm a bad
You're
person.
joking, right? Everyone you're talking about is a criminal, including you.
No, I'm not.
There it is. She's not a bad person. She just had to rip people off. No choice. Her motivation is simply to assuage her own ego. She wants to build a suit because it's iconic.
What I'm building is
Important?
iconic.
Not really. Iron Man already beat you to it. You're at best derivative. But it's a selfish motivation, making her as shallow or worse than the supposed rich assholes she's happy to terrorize and steal from. At least those people are doing something to advance society.
Well, if not to help people, why would you build the suit?
Because I could. I'm only doing this because I have to. Because I could.
This character is basically Shuri from Black Panther with an obsession about Iron Man suits. She's able to upgrade a biomesh prototype in minutes to meet her demands. Oh, and her suit is apparently solar and wind powered?
Where's your arc reactor? That's like...
You know, they don't exactly hand those out. Mine is solar and wind powered.
I can't tell if she's joking. Holy shit, I guess not. There are the solar panels. I
Like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
To the actress's credit, I'll say she's better than the latest crop of young women actresses who've been foisted upon us in shitty TV shows lately.
I'm gonna be a dad.
I'll deal with you later. And then we have episode 3 with its hilarious inconsistencies. We're told that the security system in these greenhouses detect any kind of metal, so everyone has to leave their jewelry and weapons behind before leaving to do the job.
Entire facility is outfitted with security designed to detect any metals that could be considered a threat to the biology. Last metal check before we head to Heirloom. The sensors in these greenhouses are no joke.
There's supposed to be no metal in the greenhouses because of the detectors. This clown is draped with metal. Or how about this lovely lady's neck chain? Or this ring?
We in danger, girl.
Hell, those nails look like they set off a whole bunch of alarms, not just metal detectors. There's no consistency whatsoever. I mean, why establish a premise like that, then toss the believability? Laziness? And then Riri almost gets her entire crew killed because of her own duplicitous and self-serving actions, trying to get a piece of the Hood's cloak because she's suspicious of it and him, and wants to run tests on it. And when her double dealing is discovered, she leaves a guy to die. Poor dude. Add disloyalty to her characterization, as well as murderer. Not sure what kind of hero she's supposed to be. Yeah, he was trying to kill her, but you know what sets heroes like Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman apart from people who kill? Well, just that. And those heroes who do kill usually do it for a reason. They usually have a code and a purpose, not just to hide your duplicity because you're a fucking coward. And she also left a biomesh in the lab to be discovered, so that it can be traced back to Joe, which she made her promise wouldn't happen.
Implement your upgrades, but promise me this won't blow back on me.
I swear.
Nice job. She let everyone down. And in the end, the Hood's spirits reveal who killed his buddy. So Riri's murderous attempt to hide her tracks failed regardless. This is an awful show with an unlikable character, poor editing, and heaps of modern messaging. The worst of what Disney can churn out in recent years, amplified to 10. But dare to point that out and you'll be called a bigot. The same old strategy from the tired old playbook that's been abused since someone dared criticize the Fembusters back in 2016. It's classic psyop behavior, and I hope by now most people can see it for what it is. We don't dislike this show because we're racist and sexist. We dislike it because it's shit.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.